I was in a phone call with a screenwriter and a movie producer today. And what came to me after I hung up was the whole theme of Jean's life is much like the theme that's actually in the Bible. My sheep hear my voice and they follow it. The voice of a stranger they don't follow. So what's true Christianity about? Learning to hear the voice and learning to stop following the voice of the stranger. It's not about denominations. It's not about traditions. It's not about obligations and duties. The theme all the way through the Bible is actually hearing God's voice. And I was thinking of a lot of different illustrations where Jean just heard God's voice, and sometimes it was just a 5-second prayer. It's really so powerful because it's the difference between life and death and the blessing and the curse, hearing God's voice, being carnal, being spiritual. You know, it matters. It's the only thing that really matters, right? And also was talking about another kind of deep truth with other friends, the cunning craftiness of men which lie in wait to deceive. Because what is pride and a religious spirit? It's a lying, cunning spirit. Pride is a lying, cunning spirit. It's the voice of the liar. The 7 that are an abomination to God are all have their roots in being a liar and lying. And if you've ever read the scriptures on lying, not receiving the love of truth, the downfall of the human soul is just lying. And that's what faking it is, right? Being religious, being pretentious, giving people the bread of hypocrisy, not the bread of sincerity and truth. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with the bread of hypocrisy, but with the bread of sincerity and truth. So in Ephesians, there's 2 scriptures that live right next door to each other, and they're very powerful scriptures. Even Ephesians 4 and 5 are very powerful books. One of them says this, however, it says that through the cunning craftiness of men, which lie in wait to deceive, put away lying. Because liars are just bands and snares and traps that have a lot of different cunning, crafty, Jezebel, controlling, manipulative ways to get you so lost in details you forget what's going on in the spiritual realm. And so there's a lot of people I've known throughout the years that have never put away lying. And they don't speak the truth in love and member and help people grow up. I've known people that, and you know, it's really cool. I want to talk about the people I don't. I'll talk about the people I do know that have decided to put it away and stop being bands, snares, and traps to men, bands, snares, and traps to other women, to their children, who are always playing catch me if you can, catch me if you can, you know, because they don't tell themselves the truth, bottom line. So I'm pretty excited because I think down the road there might be a little movie production. I thought it was going to be a documentary, but it's not. And what's the theme of Jean's life? Hear God's voice. A lot of tremendous things have happened in Jean's life due to one reason: putting away lying, saying a little prayer, and hearing God's voice. That's how I met him. I heard God's voice. I put away lying. I started telling the Lord the truth where I was at one day. I heard about a Christian concert, and I thought, this is God's voice. Okay, Lord, I'm going to go to that concert. I know that I need to stop hiding out. I'm going to obey your voice and show you that I love you by obeying your voice. And I'm going to go out in public, which I wasn't really doing at all back then, because who is Jezebel? What is the spirit of control, fear, and unbelief? My life was shipwrecked for obeying the voice of the stranger, of the fearful and unbelieving father that Adam and Eve followed. I heard, I couldn't believe the little revelation from last night that I got. It's, you know, have you ever played Catch Me If You Can with your kids? Or hide and seek is what it's called. Hide and seek. Hide, seek, hide, seek, hide, seek. Even when your kids are little and you're telling them to hide, they're saying, here I am, mommy, right? You know, who is the seeker? It's the Lord. Who's the hider? Us. How do we hide? Lying. And so, you know, God's seeking for those to worship him in spirit and truth. I pray to God that you get something out of this one day and that you start seeking him in spirit and truth instead of that little 1 ounce of self-justification and the reasoning of the mind and all the many words of excuses that keep you from the spirit of life and having life and the resurrection spirit in your testimony, because you never can quite tell yourself the truth about what you needed to get saved from it. That's what I had to do. And I've known other women that have done it too, and they have a lot of life in their testimony. Hope this helps somebody today. Amen.